Well, welcome to Huddle Time with Ronit. How you guys all doing? You doing good? This is a great, great week. I don't know about you, but there's a really magic in the air. Don't you feel it? I feel it. And I'm super excited today because not only that I have Frank with me, my buddy, um, it's also a very special week, right, Frank? We're super
Sure is.
excited to have this week and to be really grateful. Let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. Is that your favorite holiday or do you have a different holiday?
Well, first of all, Ronit, thanks so much for having me back on your show. So appreciate it. And so appreciate everything that you do for our industry and your positive, upbeat spirit always. And we can't thank you enough. I have to tell you, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because there's no gifts and it's all about
Giving.
family and food and reflecting on being thankful. And I saw a Facebook post earlier this week that said, instead of wishing for everything that you want in life, take time to be thankful for everything that you have. And
Mm.
I can't tell you how thankful my family is because last Thanksgiving, we spent it in quarantine. My youngest was on his way home from college and got a call from the university that he had been exposed to COVID by his roommate. And so we had to put my youngest in quarantine. And it just so happens that he was riding home from college with dear old dad. So I was
Yeah.
in the car. And so I wound up getting tested. I did not have COVID. And then my middle child, who's away at school, we just told him to stay at college because our whole house was in quarantine. And we spent last Thanksgiving, each of us in separate rooms in the house, and my middle child at college. So we wound up ordering him takeout and having it sent to his dorm room. So we're so thankful to be together this Thanksgiving, and I'm sure many other families out there are the same. So I think we all have a
Yeah.
lot to be thankful for.
You really do. If you look at 1 year in review, okay, let's have a 1 year in review.
Has it
And
only
you
been a
look,
year?
it's only been a year, right? Since last Thanksgiving, okay? um, but if you look at 1 year in review and where we were last year, and you're
Yeah.
right, there was just so much of frustration before the holidays. All salons were working their bum off, trying to make it work. For everybody to come in. It was really tough times, and we're so grateful to be where we are today
Yeah.
and celebrate what we do have. And you're right, I love that. Let's just be grateful for what we have and what we don't have, because who cares about what we don't have? Um,
Exactly.
I'm looking,
And I think one other thing too, just I didn't mean to cut you off, but
but you did. You did, Frank. You
I
cut
did.
me off. Yeah,
And
you
this is a
did. You
just a
did.
typical conversation with you and I. Just,
Yeah.
but I think one other thing too is I've talked with many folks who are still battling COVID, and I think if we can all just, as we all gather around the table for Thanksgiving, not only reflect on everything that we're thankful for, but also reflect on all those folks that are still wrestling with the global pandemic and the effects of COVID. And we cannot forget about that. And I think if we can all, at once, reflect on that, whether it's in prayer or in thought, I think it would serve all of us well.
Yeah, I agree. Or maybe we should do a little game here because we look. I'm looking at the chat, and I'm looking at who's coming to visit us here today, and all our friends are here. Mariah and Cherry. I can't see everybody's name because I have like a limited view, but my Olivia can see it. But everybody who's just coming here, if you had to, and put it in the chat, everybody, what are you grateful for? What are the things that you're superly grateful for today? I woke up this morning and I took my journal out, as I do every day at 6 o'clock in the morning with my cup of tea, and I wrote, what am I really grateful for? And of course, today I was really grateful for the beautiful sunrise that I saw today. The sunrise was just beyond gorgeous. So I started with the sunrise, how grateful I am for that. And then I thought to myself, I'm really grateful for my friends. I am grateful for everybody that I spend quality time on Huddle Time, quality time in Chicago, all my new friends in Chicago, Mariah, Donna, and you, Frank. I am so super grateful for you. And
No, I'm
so,
grateful for you too.
thank you. What a love fest we have going on right now.
But that's
But
the beauty industry. The beauty industry is based on love and relationships. So it's not out of
absolutely.
character.
Now look at Karen. Karen, you have no idea how many nights I'm thinking of you and I miss you so much. So pick up the phone, your glass of wine, let's chat tonight. But it is a special, special week, special holiday. I am, being an Israeli, turkey was never my favorite piece on the menu. As a matter of fact, if you just ate the turkey, there's just no flavor to the turkey. It's a nothing. It's a nothing food, but yet it tastes so magical. It tastes so incredibly magical because, we get to spend the time um, on eating all the sides. so,
So I'll tell you a funny story about a turkey. So my father-in-law is a farmer in Wisconsin, and it was many years back. Was probably about 17 years back. He brings this, turkey that he had uh, took from the farm. Okay, brings it to the house. We're gonna have this fresh turkey. So my wife, who's a fantastic cook, really struggled with this turkey this Thanksgiving. She hates how I always bring it up. Here I am bringing it up on Huddle Time. Okay, so it drives her nuts how I always bring this up. Okay, this turkey must have gone in and out of the oven 5 times. And finally, I said, "Honey, let's just let it let's just let it go.
let it rest. Let it
Let's just
rest.
move on from the turkey. Like it's just not happening. Like let's just let it go." So at my house, we now buy the turkey prepared. And then she prepares all the traditional family dishes, which are
Which are the best.
they're passed down from generations, which are non-turkey related. So we have the store-bought turkey over here prepared, and then we have all the family traditional recipes over here, and it's something that we bring up every Thanksgiving, and she hates it. So
I love that. Well, we all have some really good turkey stories. Have you ever seen that video about I can't have more of that effing turkey? Get the effing turkey out of the oven on YouTube. That's such a good one. That's like a
yeah.
funniest thing. It's a good one to put it in the family.
All right. So what do you want to talk to me about tonight?
Well, I don't know. You and I spend a lot of time in between events this year.
Mm-hmm.
We almost had every conference that we could have. I don't think you were you in Las Vegas as well?
Yeah, at Cosmetro? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the one I missed, and I missed the executive at PBA.
Mm-hmm.
And so with everything that we've been working on, I feel like, ABS came first with the real big event. And it was scary to plan this whole thing, scary to go forward. It was almost like, jumping off a cliff, and we didn't know if we can fly or not. But you've seen a lot of events going on, and we have a lot of stylists and a lot of viewers and a lot of audience that depends on the shows for many
Sure.
reasons, right? We have a lot of brands that depends on that. Some brands think that maybe they shouldn't be in a big event, but they're missing out. So I just wanted to obviously open a conversation about what have you collected in terms of data, because I know we did a lot of data work.
Yeah.
And what have you collected in terms of data of what people are missing? What do they need? And also, if you can speak to that, in your opinion, what are we were lacking, and what did we gain in the collections of all the conferences together?
Sure. Well, let me, there's a lot there. So let me unpack that a little bit. So First of all, I think from a data perspective, we did several surveys before the show and after the show. And just a quick reminder for everyone that's joined us on Huddle Time. America's Beauty Show has been around for 98 years, and it's owned by Cosmetologists Chicago, which is a non-for-profit association focused on serving licensed beauty professionals. And Cosmetologists Chicago has existed for 112 years. So America's Beauty Show is just such a rich tradition within our professional beauty industry. And I know for many of us, it has a very sentimental meaning to them. And I know for me personally, it does. So it really is, if you want to talk about a love fest, how we started out this call, it really is a love fest. A love fest and all the good things about our industry. So we were the first major event back out after COVID. And we were because we postponed the show from April to September because of the vaccine. And, we're going to be coming back in April of 22 with our show at our traditional time. And one of the things that kept the team going and our board going and moving forward with the show in September of this year was, I'm just going to say it, call it like it is faith.
Yeah.
Faith in our industry, because, the things that bind us, that count the most, are the things that we can't count. And the relationships that we have, the faith that we have, our commitment to not only our craft, but to each other, is what really drove us and pushed us through. And we had faith, and we had data that said attendees want to attend live events. And that came out after our event as well. So we had over 10,000 attendees at America's Beauty Show in September, and we surveyed them. And we also surveyed the attendees that didn't come, maybe they've come in the past. And the number one thing that everyone responded to is they're looking for in-person events.
Yeah.
They're zoomed out. And I think we're all zoomed out. I don't think, other than this, Ronit, which is a fantastic conversation that we have weekly. No one leaves a Zoom meeting and slaps their hand on the table and says, "Man, that was awesome." Okay, I mean, nobody says, "Oh yeah, that was a great Zoom."
Unless you're in Salon Cadence session.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's
today was an awesome session. So
right. Okay. So other than those, people really enjoy being together. I mean, it's just a thing. So that came out in the survey, and we're so happy that folks truly respect and appreciate that time that we take for one another. So that came out significantly. And the second thing that came out in the survey is that our attendees are looking for not only the brands that were there, but also the brands that were not there to attend, because it's like having a party and not everyone shows up. Yeah. And our attendees are looking for everyone to show up. So our community of licensed beauty professionals does business with all the brands that support the professional industry. And they're looking for all the brands that they support to support them and by attending the show. So when we talk about 2022, we really zeroed in on that. And we have a lot more brands coming to the April show in 2022. And a lot of that, Ronit, was just driven by corporate travel policies, because the vaccine had just come out. People were not sure whether or not, companies were not sure whether or not that it was safe for their employees to attend. And you know what? We respect that. Right. I mean, this is a difficult time, and fortunately, we've all gotten through it. But that trend of attendees wanting to get together is what is consistent across the other events that followed ours. So you look at the event at Cosmoprof in Vegas. The PBA did a great job with that event. Again, they worked through the same challenges that we did. The PBA event that took place just now in Arizona, again, record turnout. Record turnout. Yeah. And so again, these are all great signs. The premiere show in Florida, they had a great turnout with attendees. So I think our industry, by nature, wants to be together and come together. And so we want to continue to work with that.
And I let's talk about the content and the context of the shows. So there's been a lot of changes. I mean, let's face it, the world has changed. It's not going to be what it was before.
Sure.
And so there has been some changes, and I'm sure that we both looked at it. We both were in Premiere, we both were in Intercoiffure, we were at ABS and
Right,
other events
Intercoiffure.
that we did, and there's a change in the air. There's really a change of the air, and I almost feel like in some level, it was almost like a beta, a testing beta, what we did and what we did in all our conferences to see where the people are moving forward. So let's talk about that. What are we going to do different in our approach for events and conferences that will satisfied and actually not satisfied, but actually will wow our audience that is different than what we did before.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things, and I want to do a quick shout out to Intercoiffure and the Sheila Wilson and her team, because that was a fantastic event in New York. They did a great job, and it's always a great event. So, and it's such a great community, and Sheila's such a great leader. So, a quick shout out to them. But getting back to your question and what we can anticipate in the future, I think a couple things. When you think about events, there's really two customers or two constituents that you really have to think about. The first is the attendee, which is always the first, because that's why you're having the event, is for the attendee.
That's your consumer. Absolutely.
Exactly. And the second is the exhibitor that's supporting it, or the sponsors that are supporting it. Yeah. And the thing that we have to do is make sure that everybody is in alignment and working in the same direction. So I can tell you that what we're doing at America's Beauty Show is, as we go forward, the focus and the primary focus is on education. Absolutely. Because as a community of licensed beauty professionals, in order to maintain our licensure, we have to maintain a certain number of continuing education hours each year. And we want to stay focused on that, because as a nonprofit that's here to serve our community, education is a critical component. So as we're moving forward with our event, we're incorporating more and more CEU hours in the price of the ticket. So as a licensed beauty professional, you can manage your budget. You know that the ticket price is X. And if I go to the show every year, I can get my hours. Yeah. And this becomes an annual pilgrimage for not only satisfying hours on an annual basis, but also reuniting with colleagues and friends. So that's the first thing, is education is first. And then from the secondary standpoint, the exhibitors and the engagement with the brands, that is critically important, because we all want to belong to something a little bit bigger than ourselves. Yes. Why do I drive a certain car? Why do we all wear certain clothes? Why do we do certain things? Because we want to be a part of a community that is something that we're comfortable identifying with. And beyond our brand of Cosmetologists Chicago and America's Beauty Show, that's a brand in itself. The brands that are there exhibiting are also opportunities to engage. So what we're looking at with our exhibitor community is they're very clear in that they want to be able to communicate with attendees and their customers on an ongoing basis. So the question is, how do you bring in a digital component to an in-person event? And how do you do it in a way that it drives more brand engagement versus an or statement? How do we make it an and statement, where I went to the America's Beauty Show and I was on the exhibit floor, and I really became more deeply connected with the brands that were exhibiting there, and I formed a deeper relationship, not only in person, but digitally. So we're working with the L'Oreal company and the PPD brands, and you'll see a experience upcoming at America's Beauty Show in 2022 that is not only a digital experience, but it's also an in-person experience that I think will really become the model for how exhibit floors will look going forward. and we're so excited to have him back, and we think it's going to be a fantastic experience.
That's great. Do you have some details about it, or we're
Well,
not?
here's
revealing
the
it
only
yet?
thing I can't share with you without disclosing too much. You know, when you walk into Times Square and you take that picture, you always remember it.
The
And
big
the New Year's Eve ball and the show that everybody watches is Times Square. And
right.
there's a reason for it because of the lights, the energy, and how it makes you feel. So I just want to plant that
Okay.
seed in everyone's mind to say the digital experience that L'Oreal is going to be having. Think about Times Square.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's awesome because it's a really good vision. I love it. I know it's going to be fantastic. Two things that came to my mind while you're talking about the experience of that is the two things that I've actually picked up on all the events that we're probably going to move forward. In a big event, there has to be a small event. And I'm going to say it one more time. In a big event, there has to be a small event. And
Mhm.
what I mean by that is that as we're coming out of the Zoom mindset, which I don't think it's going to ever leave. I think Zoom is going to
No.
continue being here very strongly.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stocks in Zoom, so it better. But I would say that as we're moving, we need to hybrid. So yes, people want to network. People want to be together again. Somebody said here, if you want to put your name in it, because I cannot see the person, is there's nothing like the community of our industry. And so we all love to hug. We all love to be together. I mean, that was the best thing that happened in all the events. People that we have been Zooming, now we've been hugging. And
Yeah.
so we want to have the Zoom world. What happened with the Zoom world, it made us be much more connected to the celebrities, to all those people we always looked at when they were up on stage. Now we're like this, we're friends. So that's where we're going. We have to have small, intimate events, like maybe some parties, or maybe just cocktails and networking events within the big events, so we can get that intimacy and love. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good idea?
I'm going to I'll just comment a little bit on that. I think there's never a bad time to bring people together for more intimate gatherings. I mean, I could tell you that just when you look at our president's party that we have on Saturday night, it was the magic of the beauty industry. And Ronit, to your point, there were the hugs, and I think the genuine happiness to see each other. Yeah. And, having more of that and having more of those, I would just encourage everyone to say, don't wait for the show to happen to have that. Do it on your own too. And bring your friends, bring your groups to America's Beauty Show, and then meet up with other groups to make it even bigger in itself. Because, we're a nonprofit. We're here to serve licensed beauty professionals. So it's not my show. I'm just the steward to help make it happen. It's the show for the community. And that type of spirit, Ronit, that you're talking about with these small little meetups, that can start out small. And then when these small little meetups come together, it gets bigger, and then it gets bigger. And then that's where our show really takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
The little meetups, again, I'll just go back to encourage everyone to really think about how they can become a catalyst to bring people together. We've got our holiday event coming up on September 13th, and we've worked very closely with Mariah Villarreal, who's on this webinar right now, and not webinar, I'm sorry, our Huddle Time right now, has been a great leader in driving this and bringing together our community. And we're so excited. Nick Stenson, who's also on our board, who's with Ulta, is working with Mariah, and they're pulling this event together on September 13th in Chicago. And we think it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Now, here's the challenge. We're limited to 70 people because of fire code. So, but we're hoping that this really kickstarts the year, and we have a series of more of these events that not only lead up to America's Beauty Show, but America's Beauty Show and beyond.
Oh, so it's great because I think when you look at your model, Frank, that you implemented last year, which is the membership model. What was nice about it is that you don't have to think about going or not going. It's all included in this event. And of course, there's always a room for upgrades, but it's nice because it becomes a club. And I love it because
Right.
it's friendship. What does Oprah says? Oprah says that good friends are like stars, right? They shine for you at all times. And so, if you were thinking about the whole motive of Times Square, then there's all these extraordinary times to be together and spend friendship together and get inspired, right?
Yeah.
And all the events purposes is to just surround yourself with people who wants to take you higher, to elevate you.
Yep. And Ronit, I think you did a great job. I'm going to throw some kudos out to you with the panel discussion that took place at America's Beauty Show, which you're bringing back at the 22 show. And I think that, when you break the show down into different elements, hearing from folks that have walked the journey and are continuing to walk the journey and have learned from the journey, and sharing that with other folks that perhaps maybe are just starting their journey is really invaluable. And, having the chance to interact with folks. I mean, how many folks in the room raised their hand and said, can we have your contact information? Can we talk to you not only after, right after the event itself, but also ongoing, to have that type of ongoing coaching? So, there's so much good that's out there, and there's so much great that comes together when good people get together.
Oh, absolutely. In the beginning also, if you think about it, when you start getting out of the home, okay, this is what I experiment with me traveling, because I actually have not stopped traveling during the pandemic, and slow down a bit, but I still travel as you did. And it was really kind of like almost uncomfortable to get out. It's almost like I just feel so good to be at home. I still want to do Zoom. I just feel like being in my pajama pants all day long and have that beautiful blast. AKA, that's exactly where I am right now, my pajama pants and my beautiful Zoom blast.
But your hair looks great.
Hair looks great.
I'm giving your hair a 10 tonight. It looks awesome.
Hey, guess who did this?
Karen.
Nope. No, Karen's in Chicago and Ronit is in Florida. Guess who did this?
Who?
Our buddy Tina.
Oh, did she, Tina? Tina McIntosh?
Yeah.
Looks great.
Doesn't it look amazing? She's fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
I went and visit her in her new place. That's another thing, you get to have friends all over every state, and you go to get your hair done with everybody. So it's been great. So, what I wanted to say is it's so incredible. Once you take that suitcase out from wherever that is, dust it, start packing it, and just hit that rubber, right? Because once you do, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to go back into the world of just inspiration.
Yeah, I have to tell you, the PBA event in Las Vegas is generally it's at the manufacturer level. It's senior level executives within the industry, and they come together on an annual basis. I hadn't been to it in a few years just because of my travel schedule and what have you, but I was so glad to go. And it was so nice to reunite with colleagues throughout the industry that we're all, have the same questions that all of us have. If anyone on this watching tonight has any self-doubt about, what are they doing? Are they doing the right thing? Am I headed in the right direction? The answer to all of it is yes.
Yes.
Just believe in yourself and trust yourself. There is a massive change that has happened, and all of us have just had our heads down and just working our way through it. And, you
Yeah.
know, first it was COVID, then it was the PPP, then it was the EIDL loans, then it
AIDL,
was,
yeah,
you know, right, just keep on going. Then forgiveness, then you got the Delta variant. I mean, these are major,
yeah.
major events
Back,
that,
yeah,
as entrepreneurs, as citizens of the world, we're all dealing with.
yeah,
And it was so nice to just see colleagues. We reunited, we talked about issues, and probably more importantly, we just saw each other.
yeah,
Like, we're not alone. Like,
right.
the things that we're thinking about, the things that we ask ourselves about, the things that we challenge ourselves about, everybody's going through it. We're not alone. And even
Yeah,
the people, because we all know them, oh, I'm making more money than I ever have before.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that's
yeah,
for now.
yeah,
But, you know, life's a merry-go-round. You know, it goes around. You might be over here now, but, you know, eventually it comes back around over here. So you
yeah,
just got to keep riding it. And
yeah.
it all works out for everybody.
Absolutely. Education is one of the things that you should never stop. You should never ever stop, because the minute you stop, you become compliance. And if you
And
become
I'll build on that. It's not only
you
education, but it's also isolation.
isolation. Absolutely.
Isolation might be comfortable, but it's dangerous.
Oh, it's deadly.
Yeah,
Deadly.
it's deadly not only for people,
Yeah,
uh, for themselves, because then you become your own worst critic, but it's
absolutely.
also deadly from the standpoint of isolation makes you start to internalize, you know, maybe it's just me. It's not. The value of travel, the
Yeah,
value of getting out, the value of seeing others helps you calibrate your own criticalness of yourself.
yeah, yeah,
Because when you get out and you see things and you talk to other people, you realize that, you know what, you're on the right track.
yeah,
You're not crazy. You're like, you know, you're doing the right things. And sure, things can improve, and sure, we can all do things better. There's no one's perfect. But for the most part, people want to do a good job and they're trying their best. And
yeah.
sometimes our own selves are our biggest critics, and travel and interaction helps us calibrate the critical thoughts that we may have of ourselves and
I
allows us
mean,
to keep going.
absolutely. All of that is just gives you one phenomenal feeling, which I love. It's empowerment. It empowers you to feel like a superman and a superwoman. When you have people around you that love you, and this industry is all about that. And believe me, I've been belonging to so many masterminds in the past 10 years, that in every industry there is nothing like our industry. So, and our industry is evolving. And you're right, Frank. We're going through a massive change. And by the way, if you a year ago used the word change, there would be some people there who would be not liking that word. But right now, I want to remind all of us, my grandmother always said change is good. And you know what? She went through the Second War, she went through many wars. And let me tell you, their change is amazingly good. And sure, there's so many, boomerangs that we get hit with, and punches that we get hit with. But when you have your people around you, change becomes empowerment. And I think that that's something that uh, ABS has embraced this year, is to make changes. Now, Karen said something about December 13th. Are we missing? Is there something going on in December 13th that
Yeah,
we're not?
I talked a little bit about it earlier. December 13th is our holiday event, which we have 70 slots that we would love to have the building at complete capacity. It's going to be in downtown Chicago. It's at a studio. And for those of you that are on Instagram, Allie Stone is a Instagram influencer. She's also a photographer. She does a lot of iPhone hacks, which are really interesting. And we're going to be utilizing her studio. Nick Stenson and the Alta design team are going to be doing a photo shoot for America's Beauty Show. And Mariah Villarreal has orchestrated all of the, I'm going to call them swag bags, and all of the nice touches that really just bring it all together. And we're so excited. And so if you haven't received an invite, feel free to email me at frank.fulco@americasbeautyshow.com, or look for your invite in your inbox, because it's going to be great. We're really excited about it.
I love it. So December holiday party, you don't want to miss that in Chicago. I wish I can be there, Frank.
Well, there's no reason why you can't.
Well, you know, I'm flying to
Send
Israel.
Bill.
I'm going to send Bill.
Send
Okay,
Bill.
Karen,
We'll be
you're going to
happy.
have
We'll
to
be
take
happy to see
care of
Bill.
Bill. Okay. I would say it's going to be amazing. I wish I can be there. I am going home. I haven't
Oh,
seen my
right. You're
mom.
going to Israel. Good for
I
you.
haven't seen my mom for 3 years. I haven't
Oh,
seen
God bless.
my father. So I got my third booster. Karen, I'm going to send Bill over. But yes, so I'm going to take
That's
off
great.
and spend a couple weeks over there and just enjoy
That's
them.
wonderful.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
So we're going to wrap up here, but not before. I'm going to ask you this last question,
Yeah.
and maybe we can share it with everybody. So there has been a lot of, shifting around between salon suites, booth rents, big salons, individual. A lot of people are opening small practices in their own home.
Yeah.
And so there's been a lot of different things that are going on.
Sure.
Where do you see this movement and is going? And I want to call it a movement because it is a movement and it's still moving. Where do you see this movement keep going within the next few years?
Well, I think you're right. I think it is a movement, but I'm going to just frame it just a little differently. I'm going to call it a rebalancing, because each of these models have existed within our industry for as long as I can remember. And but it's just to different degrees. So the industry is rebalancing now, and it's rebalancing, I would say more. You're seeing more folks migrate to independent operations like the salon suites of the world, or working from home, and that's putting stress on the commission salon from a workload or from a personnel standpoint. So you're seeing a rebalancing of where folks are at. That's what's different. What's the same is that it's still licensed beauty professionals doing their craft. So the challenges that we face, the work that we have to do, the needs of our community are the same. Those two are just being rebalanced. So, we're gonna be thinking more about mental health, because as we talked earlier, people, isolation is a challenging thing. It might be comfortable, but it can challenge you in different ways. So, as there are continue to be challenges out there, folks that are working by themselves may be seeking help from others, or maybe may want help from others, but don't know how to ask.
Absolutely.
We've all been in a lot of salons, and those salons that have that family culture that really supports each other, man, you just feel it the minute you walk in through the door. And you just know it. I'm Ronit, you ran, your salons are like this, and there's a reason why you can feel it, because it's a healthy place. I mean, we all struggle, but when you have your support group, you have your people around you, man,
a lot less struggle.
Yeah. It makes the work a lot easier. It makes life a lot easier.
Well, I do want to give credit to all the movers and shakers. You have to do it. You have to move. You have to reinvent. You have to leave in order to come back. It's like you said, it's a balance act. It's a balance movement. And we're going through it right now. And I say, it's actually pure. It's very pure and it's very profound. Look at this as when we started, our salon. We started from the same place. We started
Yeah.
from the same place. So, if anything, what's most important thing is to come to the events, because that's your opportunity to absolutely learn how to do it right. And the future is determined 100% by two consumers. Two. One, it's the buying consumer. Okay, they determine exactly what your business needs to serve. And the second one is your teammate, which is your partner, which your
Yeah.
investor. So those are the two consumers, and together, if we can crack the code, the inclusion, and then not the isolation is going to bloom tremendously. So,
And
um,
I just want to build on that a little bit. And that's what, our show is all about.
yeah,
Annually, once a year, everyone, our entire industry, coming together in a very safe place to
yes,
learn, to be inspired, to network, and to navigate their future for where they want to go and what are the next challenges ahead. Because we all need that support. We all need that compass to help
yes,
guide us, in the times of change and the times of challenge. And America's Beauty Show has been around for 98 years, and it's not by accident. It's
yeah,
because when good people come together, great things happen. And I
yeah.
think that's why this show is so endearing to so many of us because we
So, well,
experience it every time.
how many people are we looking into in April?
We want to be at 20,000 or higher for April.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've
And we're
definitely
working
got.
our way back. The
Yeah,
show historically has even hit levels as high as 60,000 people. So we're working our way back, and we think we can get there. And you know what? I think all shows within our industry can get there. So it's not just America's Beauty Show. I think it's all shows within our industry can get there, and it's up to us to show up. So when we start showing up, it all works out great, and great things happen.
absolutely. So I guess this is what we're going to be working on. I think we spoke a lot of today about the
Tickets go on
show.
sale December 15th.
Okay, so
Yeah,
everybody knows December 15 now. But if you have a membership, you don't have to worry
right,
about the tickets.
right.
And I would just say with the memberships comes so much more than just the show. So that's great. I do want to thank Americans Beauty Show for being our sponsor and our supporter. I want to thank Textile for being our sponsor and our supporter. Textile is a phenomenal machine that produces communication between consumers and salons. So you really want to check into that. And I
And a
absolutely
great
want to
partner
thank
to our industry. I think everyone
such a
should
great
take a look at
partner.
it.
And
Yep.
what a great
Just like you,
communication.
Ronit. Salon
Thank
Cadence is a great partner to our
And Salon
industry.
Caden is an amazing partner. So it's a white glove company that helps salon and spa owners really leverage everything that's going on right now in the industry and grow your company and scale your company. So if there's anything you guys are curious about, please join us, Profitable Salon and Spa site on Facebook, so you can learn a lot about it. And that's it. I think that's a wrap. What are you going to
Yeah,
eat?
I'll
First
just say
thing.
one
First
last thing.
thing.
One last thing. I just want to thank our board of directors, and I want to thank all of our members and all of our attendees and all of the licensed beauty professionals out there that do what you do every day. We cannot thank you enough. At America's Beauty Show and Cosmetologists Chicago, we're here to serve you. That's our mission. And we so look forward to seeing you at America's Beauty Show on April 9th, 10th, and 11th in Rosemont, Illinois. And tickets go on sale December 15th. So get them early, get them often, and share it with a friend. So we'll see you at
Absolutely.
America's Beauty Show.
We'll see you guys at Americans Beauty Show. And just like Frank, I so appreciate everybody in my, I don't know, second home, Chicago. I
That's
love you
it.
guys. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Next week, we have a great special guest as well. You don't want to miss every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Central. We're going to share with you some really great gems about things that do matter. Things that matter, guys. So enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat lots of turkey. I'm going to have my mashed potato. I love you guys. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.